I'm also gonna starting my 12th class syllabus in 11th only, and gonna finish that in 1 or 2 months. So what happened कि जब मैं रूम पे पहुंचा तो मेरे जो रूम की लाइट थी वो खराब थी. It was around 9, 8:30 के आसपास बज रहे थे. तो मैंने जो मकान मालिक है उससे बोला कि भाई ये लाइट सही करवा दो. तो ही सेड कि बेटा अभी तो नहीं हो पाएगी, इतना टाइम मिल गया, कोई नहीं आएगा, कल करवा देते हैं. तो बिकॉज मैं इतना कॉन्फिडेंस सा रहता था ना, मुझे लगा कि भगवान गॉड इज चैलेंजिंग मी कि अब तू पढ़ के दिखा. तो मेरे रूम के सामने गैलरी थी, और उस मेरे जो मतलब जो घर था उसके सामने एक ट्यूबलाइट अंकल थे, वो लगा लगा के रखते थे, और उससे थोड़ी बहुत लाइट आती रहती थी उस गैलरी में. And I literally studied up to I guess 5 or 5:30, I mean 30 a.m. that day. और मैंने पूरा मैट्रिक्स और डिटर्मिनेंट का चैप्टर आई फिनिश दैट डे. सो आई एम दैट्स वन ऑफ द स्टोरी. अब जब मैं खुद सोचता हूँ उसके बारे में तो आई रियली फील इंस्पायर्ड कि हाउ कैन आई डू दैट.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing extremely well. So guys, we are back with another podcast, and in this podcast I have invited one of my schoolmates. He has graduated from IIT Kanpur and right now working in Meesho as a data scientist. But the journey, the path that he followed, starting from a village, then coming to Itawa and then getting into IIT. The path was not that easy, and I believe the journey that he has, that is very inspiring for many of us. So make sure to be with me till the end of this video. I believe we'll be getting a chance to know more about him, more about his journey. Let's get started then. So thank you so much, Shivam, for being here on my channel. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I believe the discussion that we are going to have, the sort of questions that we are going to discuss, it's going to be really helpful for the audience. So make sure to be with us till the end of this video. So yeah, Shivam, I believe that's from my side. You can start with your introduction now.
Okay. So hello everyone. This is Shivam. Basically, I graduated last year in 2022 from IIT Kanpur, and currently I'm working as a data scientist in Meesho. And if I have to talk about my background, then I finished my early schooling in my village itself. And I guess after fifth or sixth class, I came to a town called Itawa. And from there, I studied up till 8th, 9th in a UP board school. And from 9th class onward to 12th, I studied in a single school in CBSE board. And after that, went to Kota for a year. And from there, JEE. So yeah, this is all about my intro.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, guys. So even I'm also from Itawa, and he's from my school itself, right? So just wanted to mention that specific thing.
We
So
were in school. Sorry,
yeah,
classmates for 2 years.
yes. One thing to mention about Shram, like when he was in school, right? So even what I observed about him, that he was very hardworking and he was very passionate about the things that he actually wanted. Like at the time, I believe scoring marks was the only aim for him. So next question, something related to that only. So as you mentioned that you have started, you have completed your early schooling from a village, right? So what I'm considering is that in the family, the parents, I believe, they were not having that exposure about the things, IIT and that stuff. So
Yeah.
like what was the motivation? Like was there any person who guided you, or how do you came to know about these things that I should go for IIT and this is something really great?
Yeah. So actually, I was not aware. That may surprise some of you guys, but I was not aware about IITs up till 12th class. I mean, as you may know, since we are from same school, our school was, I mean, even though it was CBSE board, but was not such a great school to be in. I mean, quality wise, it was around average. So yeah, I was not aware about IITs up till 12th class. In 12th class, I made some good friends, and from there we came to know, like, you may be knowing Mohit Dipankar, and if you guys as well, you had Saurabh. So from you guys, I got to know about
Just to
IITs.
mention here that it's like Saurabh is my brother, and like Shivam and other names that he specified, right? So they all are my brother's friend only. So that's how I know all of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can proceed.
So, like, I always dreamt of being an IAS officer. Like, UPSC was my passion always, and that's why I actually went to IIT. So, in the back of my mind, it was always that IIT was something like to prove to the society. Since I come from a not so good financial background. My father is a farmer, mother is a homemaker. So, uh, I mean, going directly into the UPSC, let's say right after your school, could be quite challenging in terms of financially. So I did initially, the thought process for me to go into IIT when I got to know about it was to have a financial backup, like let me prove it to the society ki, yeah, I have something, I can do it. So after IIT, I would go for UPSC. But then plans, you get more exposure in the IITs. You get to know a lot of things there. You get exposed to different kind of things. You explore a lot of things, and from there, you sometimes you change your mind, sometimes you don't. So yeah,
Okay.
that
Okay.
was.
Yeah, even like you mentioned about UPSC, right? So that's what even Saurabh told me, that you are having that sort of, like this thing. I was not aware that you are just doing IIT for this financial part. I thought maybe you are having the interest, but sometimes it happens that we are having that thought of serving the nation or something. So I thought maybe this kind of thoughts are there in your mind, but I was not that sure that from the starting itself
That,
you are aiming for
that
that.
was no. I guess you misunderstood. I said ki I wanted to go to IIT for financial purpose, like so that I could get a financial stability. But in the end,
Okay.
I wanted to do UPSCs. I mean, the initial, obviously up till 12th class, I did not have anything as such ki desh badalna hai ya this and that. The primary reason was ki to get power, to get acceptance in the society. Since coming from a lower middle class family, from a village, this is the first thing that comes to your mind, that people should recognize you, people should respect you. You don't have, at least I did not have that level of understanding. I wanted to change. I mean, it did get started in the college. That cannot be the reason to do UPSC, and that's why actually I left it.
Okay.
You cannot, that cannot be the sole reason for you to do UPSC, to get power, to get recognition in the society. So I mean, I have not still left it out yet, because now I do have some of those things in my mind to give it back, some of the things to the society, like child's education is one of the things that I'm very passionate about. In my village, I've seen a lot of kids who are quite good, actually, like me, but because of their financial condition, they cannot get proper education, and cannot show their proper potential. So that's one of the things that sometimes motivates me to pursue UPSC. But I need some more reasons. So once I get that,
Okay.
I'll maybe leave it and go there. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So that's why you dropped the plan. That's what, like, when I got to know that, okay, you
Yeah,
are.
you cannot say कि I dropped the plan. It's still in my mind. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, as some people say कि you need very strong reasons
Mm.
or to do it,
Obviously,
because
yeah, because
yeah,
that's an
exactly,
exam which need patience, lots of patience, and you need a
exactly,
like certain motivating factor. Okay, that is the strong factor.
exactly,
That's what.
exactly.
Okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, IIT, right? So you started with it. So how was the, like, starting from a village, then coming to Itawa, which itself is not that much, I must say that it's not that much developed city. Okay, so
Yeah.
there are lots of
In
things
terms
that
of
we're,
education, it's definitely not developed.
in terms of education, and even in certain terms, it's not developed, right? Because you know it, right? We don't have these big
Yeah,
malls and all those stuff, right? That's how it is.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
we know it very well because we both are from there only. We'll be having a discussion further on this thing, right? So then coming to Itawa, then IIT. So I must say that it's a complete change over there, because you will be having people from different backgrounds, right? From upper class, lower middle class, right? So to have a conversation with all of them, to compete with them, right? To collaborate with them, how you manage, or basically how was your first year, because that's a sort of transitioning phase for an individual. So how was it for you?
Exactly. Yeah, thanks for asking this question. It's a good question. So, I mean, before that, I want to tell you a little background about me, about my relationship with English.
Mhm.
So, in 11th class, I guess June, when you go to the 12th class in March now, in March, April, May, these are the 3 months when I finished almost all of the PCM syllabus. I mean, 3 or 4 months.
Mhm.
Maths, I had finished 100%, and uh, chemistry or physics, I had started reading even before the school could start teaching those subjects. So in the 4 or 5 or 6 months, I had done this complete my PCM part, and I used to do the question papers of CBSE board. And I was so weak in English ki I reserved around last 3 to 4 months to mug up English, because I was damn sure ki I'm not gonna get 95 minus in any of the PCM subjects, and neither I did. But I was not even confident enough that I could get 50 or 60 marks in English. So I mean, I don't know, but I did not understand English at all back in school.
Okay.
So even now, maybe I don't understand it.
No,
But
no, now
somehow I'm
it's
managing.
really better, and like I can
Yeah.
completely understand that's the challenge most of the people face when they so started the schooling. But you have improved a lot. Like that's what my
Yeah.
feedback
Yeah.
is. We are
Yeah. So
talking after a long time, so I can see a huge improvement, honestly.
yeah, so like for the 3 or 4 months before exams, now I mugged up whole English, and fortunately I got good marks. And so that was one of the things that I was bad at English. So I mean that was one of the challenges that I was scared ki when I'll move to the college, how I'm gonna work on this, because everything, the medium of communication as well as academics is English in
Mhm.
IITs. So one of the challenges was that. Other than that, the second challenge was social acceptance. I mean,
Mhm.
coming from Ottawa and spending most of my life in village, and also, I mean, your the society that you live in, even in Ottawa, was more or less having that village culture. I mean, the language that you speak.
Mhm.
So all of that. So I was quite worried about that, and that's actually I faced when I went to college in first year. I felt like inferior kind of thing. Ki maybe my batchmates coming from upper middle class family. Most of them are from middle class or upper middle class family. You will
Mhm.
hardly find 5 to 10% of the guy from background like mine. So that was like one of the challenges I faced. But I used to feel like nah, they are trying to make me feel inferior. But which
Mhm.
now I think maybe it was all my mind that made it up. I was feeling that my culture, my social values, my social norms, they all are inferior to their, and I was trying to fit into their culture and like if they are going to CCD, then I'll feel. I used to Google what are the things that I need to do there, how to order it. I used to Google it all before, so that I don't have to feel any kind of weirdness back there. So uh, yeah, so this is some of the struggles. I mean, people generally focus more on academics in first year, but my focus was to get the social acceptance, which was
Mhm.
really, really difficult. I kind of, you can say, felt depressed for some time.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's one of
Mhm.
the things that I want to say people, to the all the guys who are going to college, that accept your culture, and you are not inferior than anyone else. Accept your language. Like I remember back in Ottawa, if you, I mean, the people, let's say ho gaya, that's a bird, and we often say ki hoega. So let's say sometime in talking, if that word came out of my mind and somebody said ki what, so then I used to, instead of explaining them that this is my original regional language, you should understand you are living in Kanpur, which is close to Ottawa. I used to feel ashamed. No, 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 nothing, nothing, nothing. I used to take my word back and like that. So those are the things that I want to say. I mean, don't feel ashamed about, and so that then you would, and when you accept your culture, I'm sure people would also accept.
Definitely. Yeah, like I completely agree on that. Like for you, like this was the transitioning phase. If talking about myself, right? So even I'm kind of going through this, right? Because for me, I have completed, graduation and everything I have done from Ottawa itself. But now I have shifted. So like what I do, I just don't have kind of conversation with the people. Even if I'm going to office, I'm looking for a kind of कोना कहाँ जहाँ मैं बैठ जाऊँ and just opening my laptop, doing my work, leaving the office. That's it. So that's what I'm doing because obviously there are certain things that I don't know because I never got the exposure about them. So I think that what if someone mentioned something and I'm not aware, so like what I'll answer and all those things. Yeah, but now I will also Google them. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing that I want to say. That was very important for me to face all that in the first year. Otherwise, I won't. I mean, now I feel like if anybody would comment anything negative about my culture or anything, I'm quite sure that I'm quite developed myself to face them. So
Yeah.
that was really important for me to go through that situation back then. Otherwise, I won't have developed that much.
Obviously, that is needed because the culture, the corporate job which you are into, right, and even the cities that we have to travel, like if you are a corporate employee, right, so we should
Yeah.
have the understanding of these things. So yeah, completely agree on that part. Okay, so next question coming for you. So as you mentioned, right, that like UPSC was the plan that you were having, the end goal, and still, as you mentioned, that still you have not dropped. You are still looking for it. Could be a possibility you can start your preparation again, but still, like UPSC was the like end target, and sort of, as I believe that your branch was also civil. So what made you to think about it? Let's try software domain and let's be a software engineer. What made you to get into coding and all those stuff? How this thought basically came into your mind?
Yeah. So like in engineering first year the courses are common for everybody.
Mhm.
So but coming second year you get exposed to a bit in third semester some of the courses that you study are from your branch only, like core branch only.
Mhm.
So the first course that I was taught was in third semester, and I really didn't like that course.
Okay.
So, and I slowly I got that understanding ki no, this is really not something that I want to do. And you also get to know about the placement stats in your, core sector. So I was quite sure ki no, this is not something that I want to do. And also one more thing, that in first year, there's a course of, introduction to programming, something like
Mhm.
that. Everybody has
Yes.
a different name. So during that, I mean, I performed pretty good in that course. So
Okay.
one of the things that, yeah, that was in my mind, ki, yeah, if nothing works, this is something that I can do. But so I mean, I had a lot of plan changes in school in second year and in third semester when I did this. So for couple of the 2 or 3 months, I even explored ki maybe the plan was ki I would do IES, and then from there I would study for IAS, and then I would become IAS. So that was one of the plan, and that is what I pushed myself a bit ki then let's study civil. पर
Mhm.
नहीं हुआ फिर मेरे से मतलब बिल्कुल ही पसंद नहीं आते थे कोर्स। तो उसके बाद फिर मैंने कहा लेट्स ट्राई सम डिफरेंट वे, और बिकॉज मेरे दिमाग में आईएएस ही हमेशा एंड गोल रहता था। फिर मैं सोचता था कि ठीक है, मैं सॉफ्टवेयर जॉब करूंगा 2-3 साल, उससे बहुत सारा पैसा कमाऊंगा, घर पे दे दूंगा, एंड देन आई डू द यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन। बट फिर धीरे धीरे ये वाला मतलब काफी सारे आईएएस वगैरह आते रहते हैं, सेमिनार्स होते रहते हैं। तो वहां पे वन ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस वाज कि यू नीड टू, आई मीन बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द प्रिपरेशन यू नीड टू हैव द आंसर टू क्वेश्चन की व्हाई डू यू वांट टू डू इट, एंड द रियल आंसर।
Mhm.
So that is something which I faced in third semester. There was a seminar I attended, and there and then I put my mind into that ki what is it exactly that I want to do UPSC for, and I did not get a clear answer. So that was the turning point when I thought, yeah, I'll drop UPSC for now. But it was not like, yeah, I'll drop it. I was searching for answers all this for the rest 2.5 years. I was trying to let me have some of the answers. Ki this is what I want to do UPSC for. I did get some of the answers, but they were not sufficient for me to drop out of placements and go directly, because some of the guys do that as well. They drop
Mhm.
out of placement and go for UPSC as well. So I did not do that. I chose for the placements and study a bit well, that and then got the placement. But yeah, that's uh, still impact in back of my mind. That I guess I told you already the reason why I left civil, because I was not interested in it,
Mhm. Yes, yes,
and that
yes.
was not very appealing to me as well.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it. So now comes the placement part, right? I think the phase which is sort of fulfilled of nervousness for many of the students, right? When all these things, the cycle is started for the placement part. So how it was for you, and what was the journey to get into Meesho? Please highlight
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, like first I want to, since you use the word nervousness, and I remember one incident that I want to share, that it was around 12 a.m. of 1st of December. Like in IIT, the placement starts from 1st December. Like, and there is day zero, and some people, the HFTs come and they start interview from 11 a.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m.
Mhm.
onwards only. So I was in college, and I hear some of those celebrations ki इसका इसमें हो गया, उस वाली HFT में उसका हो गया, and GPLs started happening. I cannot really explain what GPL is. Those who get it, those who don't. So after seeing this, because I got so nervous that I tried sleeping for 2-3 hours, and I could not. And for 2-3 minutes, my condition was such that my body was soaring, like literally मैं काम सा रहा था. And but somehow like फिर मैंने ऐसा योगा करा थोड़ी देर के लिए, and I got the sleep. फिर day one आया, and I was bit, I mean initially I did not expect that I would get interviews on day one, because my CPI was quite low. I mean I was actually, now let's come back to the starting point. So this was the thing regarding nervousness कि कितना nervous हो सकता है कोई. Now let's get back to the question कि how exactly did I started my preparation. So I started it back in February and March, that year only,
Mhm.
because I thought ki maybe 6-7 months was more than sufficient, and I still feel it's more than sufficient for anyone to crack to get into tech sector. I started doing coding base. I learned this. I knew the basics beforehand, but I refreshed them within 15 days. And after that, I started. I mean, there was some problems जहाँ पे मैं एक दो दो दिन 3 दिन तक अटका रहता था. तो
हम्म,
वो मतलब वो वाला फेज भी काफी डिफिकल्ट था, क्योंकि शुरू में जैसे कि कोई एक प्रॉब्लम तुमसे सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा, उसके बाद वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन बना रहता है, वो तुम्हारा 3 3 4 4 दिन तक चलता रहता है, एंड देन यू काइंड ऑफ फील लाइक गिविंग इट अप.
हम्म,
उसमें एक ऑप्शन होता है डुअल लेने का. काफी सारे मेरे फ्रेंड्स जो थे वो डुअल डिग्री करा ले रहे थे, क्योंकि उन्हें लग नहीं रहा था कि उनसे हो पाएगी, वो द टाइम वाज नॉट सफिशिएंट. तो ये वाली चीज मेरे दिमाग में, मतलब जब ऐसा होता था तो कभी कभी आ जाती थी, क्योंकि मेरी सीपीआई भी कम थी. और तो
हम्म,
मुझे दोनों तरफ से डर लगता था कि यहाँ पे भी ये भी नहीं हो रहा और सीपीआई भी इतनी कम है, बट फिर भी लाइक आई डिड नॉट गो फॉर दैट. तो उसमें सबसे बड़ा चीज जो मुझे लगता है कोडिंग के टाइम पे होता है, दैट इज टू हैंडल योर फ्रस्ट्रेशन. जब तुमसे क्वेश्चन नहीं होते, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होता जिससे एक बार में क्वेश्चन हो जाए, सारे टेस्ट केसेस पास हो जाए. आई एम नॉट श्योर कि मतलब कोई पहली बार में ऐसा कर सकता है. दैट्स रियली नॉट पॉसिबल. सो उसके साथ साथ जो फ्रस्ट्रेशन आता है, इफ यू कैन हैंडल दैट देन आई एम क्वाइट श्योर. जैसे कि रिकर्सन, जो रिकर्सिव डीपी होती है, जब मैंने वो ट्राई करी तो 15 दिन तक मुझे लग गए उसको अच्छे से समझने में. एक ही प्रॉब्लम को मैं डेली सोचता था कि इसको कैसे करूं. नहाते टाइम भी वही दिमाग में चलता रहता था कि इसको, क्योंकि डीपी इज रियली अ डिफिकल्ट टॉपिक. तो उसको मैं करने की कोशिश करता था. 15 से 20 दिन लग गए, तब मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम हुआ. और जब तुम्हारा कोई कोई टॉपिक तुम्हें एक बार समझ में आ जाता, देन इट्स बिकम्स इजी टू लाइक उसके जो आगे के प्रॉब्लम्स हैं वो फिर, जैसे एक 15 दिन लगा, फिर अगले प्रॉब्लम में लेट से 2 या 3 दिन ही लगे, फिर अगले में सिर्फ एक दिन, फिर वो जो तुम्हारा टाइम होता है जिसमें एक्चुअली सॉल्व करना होता है दैट प्रॉब्लम की ½ एन आवर, तुम उसमें उसको ले आते हो स्लोली स्लोली. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई वांट टू से रिगार्डिंग प्रिपरेशन, कि डोंट एक्सपेक्ट कि तुमसे क्वेश्चंस बहुत जल्दी हो जाएंगे और बहुत इजीली हो जाएंगे. वो किसी से नहीं होते. यू हैव टू एक्सपेक्ट दैट लेवल ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेशन which bring comes along it. But if you can handle that frustration, then I'm sure कि you can go through quite easily. So I think I did that for 3 or 4 months. फिर मुझे एक बीच में फ्रेंड्स जो एक वेब सीरीज है, मैंने उसके 2 3 एपिसोड्स देख लिए. तो आई गॉट क्वाइट एडिक्टेड टू इट, और फिर मैंने अपने लगभग 20 25 दिन उसमें निकाल दिए बैक. आई गेस इट्स टाइम ऑफ अक्टूबर और समथिंग. तो
हम्म,
वो भी एक पेज था, तो तुम उससे 1 महीना कम कर सकती हो, क्योंकि हाँ. तो उसके बाद फिर जो लास्ट का 1 1.5 महीना था, उसमें मैंने प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह करे.
हम्म,
और प्रोजेक्ट्स में भी यू नीड टू हैव मोर ऑफ द स्टोरीज. मतलब पहले, दिस इज वन इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग दैट आई वांट टू शेयर, कि यू रियली डोंट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड हैव अ डीपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हाउ, मतलब उसको कोड कैसे करना है, बट यू नीड टू हैव अ डीपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द थिंग कि वो काम कैसे करता है.
So yes, Shivam, I believe you have explained the points really well, whether it's about the project or it's about the interview preparation, all the phases that one individual goes through, whether it's about frustration, preparation, patience, whatever is needed, you have explained so well. Before proceeding further, I have this thought in mind and I wanted to discuss this with you. So I think here itself we can discuss. So जब हम स्कूल में थे, right, तो लाइक तुम कुछ चीजें बोलते थे, लाइक जैसे कि इट्स अबाउट, आई थिंक एट द टाइम की जो मेन फोकस हमारा सब था, दैट वाज getting good marks, getting good grades, right? So you used to say कि I'll be scoring, मतलब एक challenging kind of person what I can see in you, कि I'll be scoring 90 plus, या एक नंबर ही दे देना कि 95 in maths, 97 in maths, और I'll be cracking JEE. तो इस तरीके से तो मतलब मुझे और जो हमारी एक लड़कियों की गैंग थी, ठीक है, 3 लोग थे, as you know we 3 were best friends. तो हम लोग को ये लगता था कि यार इसमें बहुत ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट है, क्योंकि किसी चीज को करने से पहले जब हम बोल देते हैं तो इट्स लुक्स लाइक कि ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट है, ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट है ये पर्सन, बट फिर उसको
Yeah.
कर देना तो इट सीम्स लाइक एक बहुत ही एक ट्रू कॉन्फिडेंस था, मे बी अपने ऊपर या अपनी प्रिपरेशन के ऊपर. तो कोई ऐसी स्टोरी है क्या, मतलब कोई ऐसी चीज जो तुम शेयर करना चाहते हो इधर चैनल पे?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I think those 2 years, 11th and 12th class, those were the 2 years that I worked. I mean, I was really passionate about things, and by things I mean is maths, physics, and chemistry, especially. Because and there was nothing that I could see. मतलब स्कूल जाते ही नहीं था जनरली. बस वही सॉल्व करते रहना, आर डी शर्मा, ये फलाना ठिकाना. बिकॉज आई वाज नॉट अवेयर अबाउट जेई, एज आई ऑलरेडी मेंशन्ड. तो वही सवाल ही लगाते रहना. वन ऑफ द स्टोरीज दैट यू से, it was, I guess, 11th class. Yeah, it was around February. So because since I was too much hardworking, I felt like कि ना मुझे ही सब कुछ आता है. As you said कि I was overconfident or confident, I don't know. So I felt there was one day ना a teacher, आई फेल्ट लाइक आई वॉज द बेस्ट स्टूडेंट इन दैट कोचिंग, बट टीचर ने क्या करा, एक दूसरे बंदे की तारीफ कर दी। सो आई आई फेल्ट रियली बैड। मैंने कहा हाउ कैन दिस बी डन, मैं तो सबसे बेस्ट हूँ, मेरे सामने और किसी की कैसे तारीफ कर सकता है। सो दैट बॉय वॉज एब्सेंट दैट डे। तो अगले दिन जब वो आया एंड वी वर गोइंग बैक फ्रॉम कोचिंग, आई आस्क्ड हिम कि टेल मी एग्जैक्टली लाइक हाउ डिड यू स्टडी मैथ। ही ऑल्सो वॉज गुड इन मैथ्स। सो हाउ एग्जैक्टली डू यू स्टडी मैथ्स, एंड ही टोल्ड मी कि आई फिनिश्ड ऑल माई 11th syllabus of maths in 10th only. So yeah, then that day, while going back, I thought ki yeah, today also gonna finish. I'm also gonna starting my 12th class syllabus in 11th only, and gonna finish that in 1 or 2 months. So I purchased the NCERT of maths and went back to the room. I was living in a rented room back then. सो व्हाट हैपेंड कि जब मैं रूम पे पहुंचा तो मेरे जो रूम की लाइट थी वो खराब थी। इट वाज अराउंड 9, 8:30 के आसपास बज रहे थे। तो मैंने जो मकान मालिक है उससे बोला कि भाई ये लाइट सही करवा दो। तो ही सेड कि बेटा अभी तो नहीं हो पाएगी, इतना टाइम मिल गया, कोई नहीं आएगा, कल करवा देते हैं। तो बिकॉज मैं इतना कॉन्फिडेंट सा रहता था ना, मुझे लगा कि भगवान, गॉड इज चैलेंजिंग मी कि अब तू पढ़ के दिखा। तो आई फेल्ट रियली बैड एंड देन आई थॉट कि आज तो मैं करके ही शुरू करके ही मानूंगा मैथ्स। तो मेरे रूम के सामने गैलरी थी, और उस मेरे जो मतलब जो घर था उसके सामने एक ट्यूबलाइट अंकल थे, वो लगा लगा के रखते थे, और उससे थोड़ी बहुत लाइट आती रहती थी उस गैलरी में। तो आइडिया स्टक में कि अगर उसके सामने पढूं, और तो सर्दी थी, तो एक वो भी था, फरवरी में सर्दी होती है, कि कैसे पढ़ पाऊंगा। बट मैंने सोचा लेट्स ट्राई। तो मैंने अपना थोड़ा बहुत सामान निकाला, जैकेट वगैरह पहन के, एंड आई सेट डाउन देयर। और मैंने आई गेस 10 बजे सारा आना जाना बंद हो जाता है, क्योंकि अब मैं ही नहीं रहता था अकेले, रेंट पे और लोग भी रहते थे। तो 10, 10:30 बजे जब रूम लॉक हो गया तो मैंने शुरू करा, एंड आई लिटरली स्टडीड अप टू आई गेस 5 or 5:30, आई मीन 30 AM दैट डे। और मैंने पूरा मैट्रिक्स और डिटर्मिनेंट का चैप्टर आई फिनिश दैट डे। सो आई एम दैट्स वन ऑफ द स्टोरी। अब जब मैं खुद सोचता हूँ उसके बारे में, तो आई रियली फील इंस्पायर्ड कि हाउ कैन आई डू दैट। सो या, दैट्स समथिंग कि व्हेन यू आर पैशनेट अबाउट सम थिंग्स, you really challenge things.
Very inspiring, like even I myself want to mention about others, like giving excuses, this is the reason, that is the reason. But see, if you really want to do something, you just do it. You don't give excuses that
Yeah,
this was the reason
exactly.
or that was the reason. So yeah. Got it, got a lesson from this. Okay, so we'll be hopping on to the next question. So that is regarding your Meesho part, right? So what was the rounds that you went through about a company, in this company, and how was the process, like according to you, how you would rate it? So yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So actually सबसे पहले तो टेस्ट होता है, दैट्स द राउंड वन। उसमें टेस्ट में क्या हुआ था, लाइक इट वाज क्वाइट यूनिक टेस्ट। जनरली इन नॉर्मल टेस्ट व्हाट हैपेंस, यू गेट अराउंड 3 प्रॉब्लम, 2, 3, 4 प्रॉब्लम्स, एंड इफ यू सॉल्व एक प्रॉब्लम पूरा कर लिया, एक के आधे टेस्ट केसेस पास हो गए, जनरली यू गेट टू अनदर राउंड। बट मीसो में आई गेस दे गेव अराउंड 20 अराउंड क्वेश्चंस ऑफ डी ऐसे होंगे। आई एम नॉट सेइंग एमसीक्यू, सारे उसके थे, बट टाइम भी सिर्फ ऐसे 2 घंटे ही था। तो दैट वाज अ क्वाइट चैलेंजिंग। उसमें आई थिंक आई डिड अराउंड 5.5 क्वेश्चंस आउट ऑफ दोज 20, एंड आई वाज क्योंकि क्वेश्चंस डिफिकल्ट थे। सो लाइक एक दो मैंने डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस भी करे थे, तो आई वाज इन द सीन्स। जब ऐसे क्वेश्चन ऐसा वो आ जाता है टेस्ट, तो यू रियली नीड टू हैव अ आइडिया ऑफ टाइम मैनेजमेंट। क्योंकि उसमें 20 प्रॉब्लम में से यू कैन नॉट डू 20 प्रॉब्लम्स, यू कैन नॉट इवन डू 10 प्रॉब्लम्स। सो यू नीड टू फर्स्ट चूज की व्हाट आर द 5, 6, 7 प्रॉब्लम्स दैट यू आर टारगेटिंग, एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टाइम यू हैव कि ये वाला प्रॉब्लम मैं इतना टाइम में कर लूंगा। सो दिस इज वन मोर थिंग दैट आई वांटेड टू एम्फेसाइज ऑन। वो तब नहीं कर पाया कि जब आप वो कर रहे हैं ना, तो ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम एज वेल, शुरू के 2-3 महीने तो ठीक है, बट आफ्टर दैट स्टार्ट पुटिंग योर सेल्फ इन अ टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट सिचुएशन। मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि तुम्हारे पास पूरा दिन पड़ा है तो यू आर सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम इन द होल डे। जस्ट ट्राई पुटिंग टाइम कंस्टेंट एंड ट्राई सॉल्विंग इट इन दैट टाइम ओनली, सो दैट्स इम्प्रूव योर एफिशिएंसी। तो वो 5 प्रॉब्लम्स जब हो गए, उसके बाद जब पहला राउंड जो था, मतलब फर्स्ट डे तो मेरा एक ही इंटरव्यू था, वो भी बाद में कैंसिल हो गया। तो सेकंड डे मैं सोया नहीं था। तो 2 बजे के आसपास मुझे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में ज्वाइन किया कि यू हैव अ इंटरव्यू एट ऑफ मीसो एट 4 in the morning। तो फिर मैं वैसे भी नहीं सो पाया, और मैंने कुछ अपने ऐसे कपड़े भी नहीं खरीदे थे, मैंने शर्ट किसी और से मांगी, ब्लेजर किसी और से मांगा, एंड 4:30 पे वो राउंड शुरू होना था, और शुरू हो गया। उसके बाद आई गेस जब पहला प्रॉब्लम पूछा तो द आई वाज क्वाइट फेमिलियर विद द प्रॉब्लम। आई गेस इट वाज समथिंग रिलेटेड मैट्रिक्स में बाइनरी सर्च लगाना था, इफ आई डोंट रिमेम्बर करेक्टली, बट समथिंग लाइक दैट। तो मैं वो प्रॉब्लम्स मैंने पहले कर रखा था आई गेस, बट स्टिल आई वाज क्वाइट नर्वस। तो इंटरव्यू मतलब 5-8 मिनट इनटू द इंटरव्यू, एंड इंटरव्यू सेड कि यू कैन जस्ट मेक योरसेल्फ कंफर्टेबल, यू सीम्स टू बी अ बिट नर्वस। तो मैंने वो प्रॉब्लम आई गेस, वैसे तो मुझे 10-12 मिनट में कर लेना चाहिए था बिकॉज आई वाज फेमिलियर विद इट, बट इवन दैट आई टुक माय टाइम। थोड़ा सा कंफर्टेबल हुआ, और फिर 25 I guess 20-25 minutes में I did that problem. And one thing that you need to do, I think a lot of people say this, just while you are doing the problem, just make sure कि you are explaining what you are doing.
Yes, right.
So then the second problem came, and by that 25 to 30 minutes I was quite comfortable. And second problem I, हाँ जो मैं बता रहा था पहले वाले में, one thing what happened कि एक दो टेस्ट केसेस पास नहीं हुए, तो पहले मैंने वो भी प्रॉब्लम तो हो गया था 10-12 मिनट में ही, बट फॉर दोज 2 टेस्ट केसेस आई वाज ट्राइंग, बट वो नहीं हुआ इन द एंड 25 मिनट के बाद भी। देन ही सेड कि मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन, और सेकंड प्रॉब्लम आई थिंक आई डिड इन 12 to 15 minutes, and I also explained them. So yeah, after the round, yeah, those two problems he asked, and then he asked something. I think a few questions regarding this and that project, not projects, but जो basic questions होते हैं कि अगर लूप में ये लगा दिया तो उसकी टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बताओ फलाना ठिकाना, तो लाइक 2-3 क्वेश्चंस, वो 5 मिनट का हो गया। सो इट वाज 50-55 minutes अराउंड इंटरव्यू। उसके बाद आई वाज नॉट श्योर कि वेदर आई वुड बी सिलेक्टेड बिकॉज ऑफ दोज 2 टेस्ट केसेस, क्योंकि वो मुझे लग रहा था कि पूरे के पूरे जब दोनों प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो, टेस्ट केसेस पास होंगे, तभी यू कैन गेट सेलेक्टेड। तो तब मैं अपने दोस्तों के पास गया, मैंने कहा भाई कुछ नहीं होना। बट देन आई थिंक 5 to 10 minutes लेटर आई गॉट अ कॉल कि यू हैव सेकंड राउंड शेड्यूल्ड। तो दैट राउंड वाज सपोज टू बी 30 minutes, और उसमें होना था प्रोजेक्ट डिस्कशन एंड लर्निंग्स जो भी तुम्हारी रही हैं अबाउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स। तो आई हैड अराउंड 3 projects and had written down in my resume, और वन प्रोजेक्ट दैट वाज फ्रॉम माय कॉलेज, बाकी के जो दो थे वो मैंने इधर उधर से छापे थे, लाइक आई डिड नॉट डू देम कम्प्लीटली, बट आई हैड एन आइडिया और अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि जो मैंने बताया कि हाउ डज द फ्लो वर्क, और उसमें चीजें हो कैसे रही थी। सो एंड दैट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, यू नीड टू हैव सम स्टोरीज कि हम ये कर रहे थे तब ये वाला इशू आया, एंड दिस इज हाउ वी सॉल्व्ड इट, एंड इफ and you need to prepare the questions ki what are the questions that they can ask on this, and you need to prepare them. So he asked some of the questions, and like I handled them quite pretty well, which I felt was the most entertaining part about the interview, क्योंकि that is what something I was most scared of कि वो मैंने करे नहीं है उतने अच्छे से, so how can I exactly defend them? But you can defend them if you have an idea, if you have thought about them for some time, then you can definitely defend them. And yeah, as I was saying कि they did not ask about कि ये वाली लाइब्रेरी से क्या होता है या वो वाली लाइब्रेरी से क्या होता है। But yeah, if that's the bonus, if you can understand that as well. I'm not saying कि वो चीज पता होनी नहीं चाहिए, but that's not a prereq to have that thing. उसके अलावा या सो उसके बाद एंड दे आस्क मी अबाउट सम टू मेक लाइक एक गेम बनाना था जैसे कि सांप सीढ़ी, एंड हाउ टू ऑप्टिमाइज इट फॉर मेमोरी, ये जो ऊप्स वगैरह होते हैं ना, तो इसी से रिलेटेड ही आस्क अबाउट कि मतलब बेसिकली नोबडी वुड आस्क की इनहेरिटेंस की डेफिनेशन बताओ, वो डेफिनेशन बताओ। बेसिकली हम कोई चीज सीखते हैं तो आई थिंक कि यू शुड नो इन द फर्स्ट हैंड कि व्हाट्स इट्स एप्लीकेशन, ये चीज हम सीख ही क्यों रहे। तो ही आस्क मी सम ऑफ मतलब उसी से ऊप से कुछ एप्लीकेशन पूछे और कुछ मेमोरी ऑप्टिमाइज, मतलब ऊप्स और डीएसए का कॉम्बिनेशन बना के कुछ एक सवाल पूछा था कि ये बताओ, जैसे सांप सीढ़ी का आई गेस गेम था, उसमें पूछा था कि इसको अगर मैं बोलूँ तुम डिजाइन करो तो कैसे करोगे, ऊप्स में क्या क्या कॉन्सेप्ट इसमें लगा सकते हो। तो दैट आई थिंक आई हैंडल्ड ऑल्सो प्रिटी वेल। उसमें पहले मैंने 2D डेटा सेट में बताया कि जैसे 1 से 100 तक उसको स्टोर कर सकते हैं इन 2D। उसके बाद यहाँ से मतलब बाकी के क्या क्या फंक्शन बना सकते हैं, डाइस रोल करने पे क्या होगा उसके लिए एक फंक्शन बनाओ, ऑल दिस। तो आई डिड। उसके बाद ही आस्क की ऑप्टिमाइज इट 2D से 1D डेटा पे अगर ले जाना हो, एंड ऑल्सो आस्क सम लाइक बेसिक पजल्स। उसमें से एक दो मैंने आंसर कर दी थी, जैसे कि हाँ जो मैं बता रहा था ना, एक जो मुझे अभी याद आया, एक पजल उसमें प्रोजेक्ट में एक क्वेश्चन था, जो एक प्रोजेक्ट था उसमें मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि टेस्ट डेटा कैसे करना है। मतलब मैंने वो तो कर दिया कि ये वो एमएल का वो था प्रोजेक्ट, तो पूरा करने के बाद आई वाज नॉट श्योर कि उसको टेस्ट कैसे करना है, कि तुमने ये रिजल्ट आ दिया बट हाउ डिड यू कंफर्म इट, हाउ डिड यू वैलिडेट इट। तो आई वो ही आस्क्ड व्हिच आई वाज नॉट श्योर, तो वो मैंने ऑन द स्पॉट कुछ ऐसा थोड़ा बहुत बताया। तो ये था प्रोजेक्ट्स। और उसके बाद ये जो तुम्हारे ऊप्स वगैरह होते हैं उसके उसका एप्लीकेशन को लेकर एक दो क्वेश्चन पूछे। एंड देन द फेज कम्स कि तुम्हारे लिए कुछ मेरे लिए क्वेश्चंस हो तो ही आस्क. सो आई गेस दिस इज द पार्ट विच आई नेल्ड द मोस्ट. अनलाइक मोस्ट अदर स्टूडेंट्स आई आस्क सम गुड क्वेश्चन. जैसे कि मैंने कहीं पे कुछ पढ़ा था कि हाउ एग्जैक्टली डू द कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉयज behave with the company, whether they are an owners or they do it for the sake of it, they do it for money. So I ask him the question कि let's say अगर आपकी कंपनी में 100 एम्प्लॉय हैं तो what are the, like there are three kind of employees, if we can divide them, कि those who do it for the passion, they are really passionate about, or those do it for the money, or those who do it मतलब वो बस कर रहे हैं, अगर उनको कल उनको छूटना हो तो they can leave. So I said, what are the proportion that you think exist in your company or in general in the corporate sector? So then the interview was supposed to be about 30 minutes or 35. But after this question, we had a really good discussion on it. And the interview went on for 50-55 minutes. Then he asked me some questions regarding this. And I mean, this question was this question turned into a really pretty good discussion. So yeah, I mean, don't let that opportunity go when he says he asks some. I mean, if you have some creative ways to ask something which is in your mind, don't let that go away. That can be a pretty impressive thing to do. Yeah, so that was my interview. After that, उसके 3-4 घंटे बाद रिजल्ट आ गया. I was still not sure कि I can get in or not. And yeah, उसके बाद काफी enjoy.
Okay. So it's been a long time, I believe, but again, I want to say you congratulations now. So congratulations for that. So yeah, I believe these were some of the questions that I was willing to discuss with you, which could be informative for me also, because I also learned from your story. So for me and for the audience as well. So, but before wrapping up, I have this question for you. Like, if you are having any advice, right? You have a quite inspiring journey, right? So, if there is any one lesson that you learn or any one advice that you want to give to the audience, so yeah.
As far as advice is concerned, there's a little story that I want to share. कि since the time I came to Itawa, every year I used to think कि इस साल मैं top करूंगा अपनी class, I would be a ranker holder, but it could never happen. Even like when I came to ninth class in 𝐿 even there I tried every year कि इस साल करूंगा, it could never happen. Even in 12th class, मैं जाके I ended up being third. I could not top even then. Some Mohit got more marks than me. But then after that I never thought कि नहीं मुझसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा, let me give up. But जब मैं कोटा गया and I prepared for 1 year and I was one of the few students, I think I'm not sure if anybody else had a better rank than me. So and I mean I was one of the few students who cleared JEE after 12th. So if you would see my curve, it was always upward. Even in what that means is that I could not achieve what I wanted to, but I never gave up. So that's something that I want to say कि I mean try not to giving up. I mean so early कि let's say अगर अभी नहीं हुआ तो then you feel कि maybe you are not made of it. It's not like कि तुम्हारा IQ कम है. मतलब sometimes I used to feel like this as well कि maybe my IQ is not that great, तो मेरे से चीजें नहीं हो पाएंगी, blah blah blah. But that's not something you should focus on. You should focus on कि what you have and try not giving up easily. That's my advice.
Yeah, very, very good advice and very effective advice, I must say. So thank you so much again. Thanks for being available for this podcast. Thank you everyone for watching this. Bye bye.
It was really fun. Thanks everyone.